welcome to Devil's Advocate, the show presented by the Apocalypse Network and Cutting to the Bull. I'm Ben. As always, I'm joined by Sean.
Hello.
Nearly said Gaz and Mike then. Got my other podcast head on.
Getting them mixed up.
Yeah. Devil's Advocate, name pending.
Name pending.
Name pending. Today, we're going to talk about the NWO and the Illuminati, or what we think we know about the Illuminati, because there's not a lot out there.
No. Yeah, we struggled to find information on this. It took us
Yeah.
a while, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's almost like it's hidden.
Strange.
Yeah, it was hard to find.
Strange. So we'll start with the Illuminati.
Yeah,
I think that's the best place to go.
definitely.
Okay. So it's the name given to several groups who are both real and fictitious. These guys do crop up in fiction a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Most notably the Dan Brown novels, Angels and Demons particularly.
Yeah.
They love a bit of Illuminati in that.
So like the Da Vinci's Code.
It's the prequel too.
Yeah.
And a better book in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Remember, I don't read books very often.
No.
Not anymore.
Then it's not a better. Well, the film wasn't great either, to be fair.
Nah, it wasn't.
They changed the end and it sucked a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they started in Bavaria.
Yeah.
Right? So Bavarian Illuminati.
A little bit of history now.
A little bit of history on
Yeah.
them. Founded on the 1st of May 1776 in Bavaria by a guy called Adam Weishaupt.
I'm glad you can say that.
Yeah, 9 years of German. Can't speak it now though.
Yeah,
But
none of it was wasted.
No, all of it was
Yeah.
wasted. I just know a better pronunciation.
Yeah, I couldn't pronounce that.
Illuminati literally meaning enlightened or enlightened ones, and their goals were, quite nicely, I agree with this,
Yeah.
oppress superstition and religious oppression, influence political decisions, and try and take away some of the power of the Catholic Church, which in the 1700s in Europe in particular, the Pope would have had a lot of sway.
Yeah. Well, that's their goal, isn't it, then, essentially? To illuminate the darkness.
Yeah.
So, religion, or at least religion back then, casted a bit of a shadow, didn't it? Believe in this and don't ask any questions.
That's it. Although I suppose at least they'd moved on from the Earth being flat and going around the sun at this point. The sun going around the Earth at this point.
Yeah.
But pretty much the Church decided a lot of stuff.
Yeah. This is how it is, and that's it. Follow us.
Yeah. This is why, like England and Britain as a whole, which because of Henry VIII and his taste for women, he wanted to divorce. He set up his own church with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. So we don't. You know,
Guy's like a rock star, isn't he?
It's weird that. So we ended up with all these fantastic thinkers in Britain because they weren't shackled by the Catholic Church. So
Yeah.
people like Newton
Yeah.
would have been like, "Hey, this is fantastic. I'm not shackled. I can do all my best stuff.
Yeah.
No one's going to come along and burn me at the stake.
Yeah.
That's good."
That is good. You don't want that.
No,
No.
but yeah, I like Henry VIII.
Yeah.
Bit of a dude.
He is pretty cool, isn't he?
Apart from his taste for executing people.
Yeah, well, he only mostly did that because he wanted, like, new wives. It
Yeah.
was like a loophole, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You're married till death do you part. All right, then. Off with her head.
I can never remember the rhyme.
No, I
Is it-
can't. I know what you're on about, but I can't
Mm.
remember the rhyme either.
So yes, the Catholic Church, however, was not happy
No.
with.
Well, you got a bunch of intellectual thinkers going around going, there's another way.
Yeah.
There's another way of living your life.
Yeah, maybe we don't need kings anymore.
Yeah.
Which would mean we don't need a pope anymore.
Yeah. It's pretty scary, isn't it, if you think, oh, this is a monarchy,
Yeah.
and we're led to believe that that monarch is basically the religion. It's like God personified, isn't it? It's like
the Pope is like God's man on earth.
yeah, and the kings
But
are
the
like
king-
representatives, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like divine right of kings. I'm
Yeah.
put here by God to rule you.
Yeah.
lot, and if you disagree with that, then you're all heretics, and I'm
Yeah.
going to burn you at the stake.
So if you start going around going, maybe we don't need these people
Yeah.
anymore. Maybe they aren't divine. That creates a whole lot of questions.
Maybe
doesn't it?
we shouldn't send our young children to go sit with the priests on a Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea.
No. Maybe it never used to happen.
Maybe.
Probably did though.
I mean,
I'd imagine there was a lot of buggery going
even
on.
stuff that happens now, I think it's safe to say it's probably happened all throughout history.
Yeah. I mean, there's the whole pedo gate, save our children,
Yeah.
pizza gate. Oh man, Hillary Clinton in a weird snuff film where she skins a child's face and wears it,
Yeah.
and then consumes the adrenochrome.
You're gonna one of these days you have to explain to me what that actually is.
Adrenochrome.
Yeah.
Basically, that is like the adrenaline gland in your head.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I get that. The idea.
Oh, the idea is it keeps you youthful.
Oh, okay.
Keeps you alive, apparently. Which Bill looks fucking awful nowadays, and
Yeah.
he's meant to be in on this.
Oh, okay.
Hillary
Okay.
doesn't look great.
Yeah.
But yes, it's meant to keep you going. Well, let's not say immortality.
It keeps you alive.
Keeps you going longer.
Ah, okay. I get you.
I mean, like, look at the Duke of Edinburgh. I mean, he's probably in on it, and the Queen. They're in their 90s. I mean, okay, yes, they have the best of everything in life, but they're still trotting around quite merrily. They're not,
they don't
they're not
look...
sitting there like you and I would be drooling, looking out the staring window as nurses steal our wallets.
I'm not going to look like that. I'm
don't
going to be hench as hell.
You can't be a hench 80-year-old.
I'm going to be.
You know.
I will be.
You know.
I will be. I'll show you some hench.
I don't want to see your porn stuff. I don't want to see your muscular grannies collection, dude.
You're like, there's a niche in the market there.
But there is a niche in the market, and I'm always down for a niche in the market.
You're just there rubbing your hands, going like, I'm going to make some money.
Like someone made a porn film called Illuminati. Maybe, you know.
You've been waiting for us to do this podcast just so you could throw that out there. Be like, if anyone wants to pick up my script, it's already pre-written.
Yeah, basically it's going to be all about secret ritual. There's going to be like the dude, and then there's going to be like 4 or 5 chicks, and he's like, I'm going to suck my dick to get in.
Yeah, that's the...
They're all in robes, and there's torchlight braziers going on. Yeah, that'll be it, yeah.
And that's the
that's
initiation.
That's the initiation kind of thing. Then there'll be some paddling.
Yeah.
You know, we'll go into a bit of kink. Come back again. You know, we'll have everything. It'll be like a 3-hour epic.
No, okay. 3 hours?
I reckon so.
Wow.
No, I could just split it up into sequels. Whatever. Yes, as just alleged there was elaborate initiation rituals, which we don't know. We don't know what they are.
I'm guessing
just that they're elaborate, presumably involving sucking a dick.
At least.
I'm probably guessing something like that.
Yeah.
Or putting a plum between your butt cheeks and having to walk along an obstacle course before dropping it into a flagon of ale while then drinking the ale.
Oh, okay.
Maybe stuff like that.
Yeah, well, stuff like colleges in America and stuff, they do stuff which is like humiliation, isn't it?
Skull and bones.
Yeah.
And all secret. Interestingly, most of the US presidents, if not all of them, have been Skull and Bones members.
Yeah.
Probably not Trump, because he probably wasn't clever enough to go to Harvard.
There's a I'm sure there's a conspiracy theory about like a modern day one about something like Kanye West embarrassing someone on stage or something, and that's like the initiation for the Illuminati. It's like he humiliated her on. She's famous as well. I can't remember who it is, but he humiliated her on stage apparently, and the idea was that was her initiation for it.
But didn't he...
Public humiliation.
Was that him or Jay-Z who stormed the stage when Beck won the Best Album Award?
I don't know.
And said, like, this should have been Beyonce's, that album was amazing.
Probably, I don't...
So that kind of thing, and Beck's just kind of stood there like, I didn't fucking choose the award winners, mate.
Yeah. I guess it's a way of like humiliate them, and then that's it. They're in.
You're in. You've stabbed a fellow
Yeah.
artist in the back.
Yeah.
You're in. Maybe.
Well, if you're rich and famous, that's the only way you could really do initiation. Because, I mean, you could paddle them, I guess, like you just said. But it's like, ow, that hurt a little bit. Then it's over.
Oh no, because you like go along a line. About the stonecutters from The Simpsons.
Oh yeah.
It's like, the unblinking eye, smack, smack,
Just
smack,
keep
smack.
whipping
Crossing the desert, smack, 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 smack.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you notice how the crossing of the desert and the unblinking eye are exactly the same. And he's like, yeah. And now the paddling of the swollen ass with paddles.
With paddles.
Pushes him again. Bang, 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 bang.
But yeah, public humiliation for famous people at least would probably be the best bet, wouldn't it? Because what do they have more than anything? Their reputation.
Yeah, and they're all egomaniacs. You've got to be an egomaniac to be a frontman or haven't you, or a performer.
Yeah.
Really, let's face it.
Yeah, so you humiliate them in front of their adoring fans. It's like, well done, you're in.
Yeah, maybe that creates some kind of negative energy that the reptilians feed off.
I was waiting to see how long it would take for the reptilians. Then later on in the notes.
Yes, I know.
You jumped the gun on that already. Couldn't wait half an hour.
Lasted 9 minutes,
9
28
minutes.
seconds.
You're like, listen, people, believe me, everybody.
Then wake up, wake up. All right, back to the Illuminati.
They're in our homes.
Are they? Where are you hiding the lizard men?
I'm the lizard man.
Oh right, that explains the green T-shirt.
Yeah, explains the sweet gains as well.
Where's the tail?
I hide it. Very well.
That's not very big then, is it? Okay. The cool thing was about the original Illuminati is you all got a code name when you came in.
That is pretty cool.
So like we know of Weishaupt's code name was Spartacus because of the parallels to Spartacus leading that revolution.
That's pretty cool. Do you think he would walk in, like kick down the door and be like, I am Spartacus?
I hope so.
I would do that every time.
I really do hope so. And I'd want a robe too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want the whole cult thing going if I'm gonna.
What would your code name be?
Big balls.
Big. So you wouldn't have a historical name, no? It would just be Big Balls.
Wait, who was history's greatest lover?
I don't
know. Julius Caesar. I'll be Caesar.
Caesar.
I'll be Caesar. Hail Caesar.
Hail Caesar.
Oh yeah. Casanova.
Casanova. There we go.
That's history's greatest lover.
Yeah.
Almost. Or the Marquis de Sade.
Yeah.
No, he's famous for different reasons.
Yeah.
They invented sadism.
Okay.
So the term comes from sadomasochist.
Okay, yeah.
Marquis de Sade, he gave his name to the infliction of pain.
Okay. Very
Pretty much invented S&M.
Very vain of him.
Well, he was probably a top.
Probably, yeah.
Now, in 1784, this had over 600 members, consisting of influential scholars.
So that grew quickly then?
Yeah, politicians, and they were drawn from society's wealthy elite. So you'd argue well, in terms of the scholars, but certainly wealth doesn't tend to sit well with religion, does it?
No.
So you'd argue the wealthier you are, the less you believe.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if we're to take the Bible seriously, Jesus does say it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter heaven.
Yeah.
Something for all you televangelists who may be listening to think about that, you know. Just putting that out there. So, yeah.
Give that little dig in.
Strange none of them really believe either, do they? So it's kind of all syncs together. So you'd argue that this is a secular or an atheist society.
Yeah.
Who basically want to get rid of the Catholic Church's influence in their own governments.
Yeah, well, they probably
reform their own political institutions.
Yeah, well, some of them were probably religious, but they probably favoured science to religion. I'd imagine it's
maybe there's a bit of a quiet, sort of nod your head kind of thing. But I'm working.
They're probably agnostic, aren't they? They're probably like we don't really believe in it, but I mean, we're not going to rule it out because we're rich and it doesn't mean we're safe from everything, sort of thing. So we'll believe in it enough so that we don't get into trouble, sort of thing.
Yeah, nod your head, put a few gold coins in the collection plate when that comes
so
around.
It wouldn't hurt to kind of make it look like you believe a little bit. And
I think the belief at this point in history and before is like you've got to at least make that nod.
Yeah,
because if you don't, you're gonna get. If you went around going, why weren't you at church on Sunday, peasant? Then I don't believe.
Yeah.
You what?
You're gonna get stoned.
I was thinking about it, and it turns out I think this whole God concept's bollocks and just a ploy by the church to make loads of money off us hard-working peasants.
You're gonna get stoned to
death. They're just
gonna
take me away and burn me at the stake after torturing me to get me to repent my sin.
Yeah.
So they forgiving of them.
Yeah. So I'd probably say most of them at least gave out for the appearance that they were religious.
Oh yeah, you got to. I think you have to at this point.
It doesn't hurt, I guess, to believe in that sort of time, does it really?
Well, no. I mean, if it keeps you out of the public, it keeps you out of the Catholic Church's greedy eyes, greedy gaze even, then I think you got to make that. Of course I do.
So how did they get the 600 members then? Were they because they were affiliated with another group, weren't they?
Yeah, the Freemasons.
So I'm taking it they took a lot of people from the Freemasons.
I guess
some recruits.
Ideas which exchanged maybe, and because remember the Freemasons would have been like in the merchant and builder class as well, so a wealthy class. These guys. I mean, they come from the stonemasons.
Yeah.
They have they had.
Strange they went from that and then they went to philosophy, politics.
Strange because they would be mainly employed to build large religious structures, wouldn't they? I mean, the stonework in cathedrals across Western Europe, especially, is it's hand carved by guys who this was their life. This is what they did, and they might spend their entire life working on one building. Yeah. And then pass the job on to their son, who's been training on the job.
It's strange that they would go from that to then all of a sudden being like, let's ask some questions.
But these people would have been very wealthy.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
true.
and because you can go, if you're a master,
Yeah.
well, you ain't going to spend all day working on that stone pillar and the next 10 years working on it. You're going to get some apprentices and you're going to train them and they're going to do it for you.
Yeah.
So then you have the beginnings of business.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that progressed and progressed. And because if you're, say you got to be a businessman and you weren't a mason, or you're a merchant and you weren't a mason, they might go, come and join our club. You're wealthy. And the more people you've got in that club, they're all doing favours for each other. In government, in the various positions they're in, and it just makes your life and everybody else in the group and affiliated with it a damn sight easier and more profitable.
Yeah. Start capitalism.
Yeah.
Basically.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
Basically, yes. Bastards.
So this guy basically recruited a load of people from them, then.
Yeah, and I'd imagine he put out the feelers to various academics, scientists. It would have been, remember, this is underground, it is a secret society, so he might have gone, oh, you know, some alchemists, because you still had alchemists at this point.
Yeah.
You know, trot over, you should think about joining this little secret society. I've got to go, and you're a clever guy. You're not into the church, are you? Now you're trying to learn to turn lead into gold. But all you manage to do is turn it into green.
Yeah. Turn it into green.
Yeah, which has no value, but I like a trier.
Yeah.
You're in.
Yeah, at least they're giving it a go. It always goes to that with you, man.
I'm just saying, these elaborate initiation rituals probably involve sodomy. You know? But 9 years after it was founded, the group was dissolved. I think
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
The heat was on a little bit and Weishaupt fled.
So what happened? What happened there then?
The church basically and the Principality of Bavaria said, nope, these secret societies, such as the Illuminati and Freemasons, are now illegal.
Oh, okay.
So disband or get the fuck on that burning stake.
Fucking hell. So he did a runner then.
So he did a runner.
But see, this is the thing. If there's like over 600 members, not all of them disbanded, surely. A lot of them would have kept in communication with each other.
No.
There would have been letters, they would have talked. I'm guessing they didn't arrest all these 600 people because they would have been rich and influential people.
Exactly, but they could at least go after Adam Weishaupt, who was
he
just a lawyer.
He just disappears.
Yeah, he goes into exile.
He goes underground, doesn't he? I think he went somewhere and built it back up, to be fair.
Maybe. I mean, the thing is, they're more notorious in their afterlife than they are than they were in their existence.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where we come into the New World Order. This is the theory that this Illuminati has now expanded into every echelon of government across 99% of governments in the world, and they are just biding their time to launch the New World Order. Yeah. Hulk Hogan, Razor Ramon, and Kevin Nash.
Is that who the New World Order is?
That was the New World Order of 90s wrestling.
Yeah, but this is the thing, though, is if I created this organisation, this powerful organisation full of famous, influential people...
600 people.
600
I wouldn't say you're that powerful. You're pretty powerful in Bavaria, but you haven't got the tendrils.
No, but
tendrils creep slowly.
You've got some powerful people, though.
Yeah.
Within your country, some like it was politicians, it was famous people, it would have been the wealthy. So even if only a few of them have sort of the power to change cities and communities, that's still a lot of power to have in one organisation.
Yeah.
And that's just under 9 years. So you're telling me that he runs away, gets away with his life, and doesn't try regrowing that?
Maybe he thought, maybe I should lay low.
Yeah. Well, you would just create an even more secret society, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you wouldn't let so many people in.
Yeah, you would maybe go, okay, so you're rich and you're famous, but are you rich and famous enough to actually do anything in this world for the organisation? If you're not, then you're not coming in.
And also, he probably got busted for like, ordering 600 Illuminati t-shirts from the local merchant.
No, 600 cloaks.
Yeah, 600. Can I have 600 black cloaks, please, with a triangle and an eye on it, please?
And can you send them all to this cave?
Yes, I'd like gold trim for some,
yeah,
silver for others. Mine must have horns.
And can I have a golden wreath?
Yes.
Just so everyone knows that I'm Spartacus.
And then the police at the time were like, that's suspicious.
Yeah.
Where are you going? Obviously I'm going to sign outside saying the secret Illuminati headquarters. They just help. No, they didn't do that. That's a joke. No. So yeah, apparently orchestrating the French Revolution.
Yeah. Getting rid of the monarchy.
Getting rid of the French monarchy. Which is kind of what the American Revolution, which occurred before in 1776.
Yeah.
Or started in 1776. Let's face it, they overthrew their monarchy, which was the British monarchy.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you got this like young democracy,
Yeah.
which is full of vigour and thrusting.
That was very sexualized. Vigor and thrusting.
He was thrusting west.
Okay. What was it thrusting at?
Sadly, a load of Native Americans.
Oh man, you just killed the joke.
Yeah, it went pretty dark.
Yeah, you're like, oh, how can I just make this really dark?
It's almost like America's built on an ancient Indian tombstone graveyard, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Oops.
That's why a lot of bad things keep happening in America.
So yeah, the point I'm trying to make is that French Revolution, you've got these ideals of liberty, equality, and brotherhood, and that's kind of what the Americans were aiming for.
Yeah.
In their own sort of what the French came after them, but the Americans like, hey, we're all created equal. We've got freedom of religion. This is a free country. You don't have to wear a damn mask if you don't want to. And I need at least 76 assault rifles to make me feel home, make me feel safe at home.
Yeah. So the founding fathers, they were
Masons.
They were Masons.
They were Freemasons.
So it's, if you could even say that because these two sort of organizations were intertwined, there's nothing saying that he didn't keep in contact with these Freemasons, and also when he left and went somewhere else, that he didn't kind of try and join a Freemason somewhere else and rebuild again.
Possibility.
So you could always argue, even maybe he went to America or he went to France, or he tried to build the Illuminati up in different locations so that he would have more control worldwide rather than just in one country.
Well, that's it. And if you've also got the bankers on your side, such as the Rothschilds, who were the other ones? I can't remember. The Rothschilds, anyway.
The Rockefellers.
No, they're American, but they come later, so it's certainly a possibility. When I say the Rothschilds in Europe, then my God, you're controlling countries' economies at that point.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, especially then because at this period of time, 1776 till sort of 1815, with a few laws of peace, could arguably be described as the First World War. You had fighting on virtually every continent. Britain was fighting the French in India, the Americans and the French in America. It was fighting for the France on the continent. It was fighting on the seas all over the world. So you could argue that this period in history is the true First World War. If you've got what war's expensive.
It is,
Who gives the countries loans?
Bankers usually.
There you go. And most of the time they'll loan to both sides, so both sides are paying them.
See, I would argue if that was me and I'd been ran out of my country and I would just built an organisation and knew I could do it, knew I could collect 600 people in 9 years, I'd be going from country to country, setting up entire groups of people and putting people in charge, like training someone up and be like, right, you're the head of the English sect of the Illuminati, and then I'd move on after 2 years to the next country. You're the French sect of the Illuminati, and our sole goal is to make all these countries get into positions of power, political and wealth, like you said, bankers, and then make them all go to war with each other, make them all tear each other apart, so we can get rid of all of these. It'll undermine the religion, and it'll undermine the kings and queens, so that we can get rid of the monarchies and make people question religion. And by that logic, I mean, there's no way of proving it, but it would make sense as to why a lot of kings were getting killed around that sort of time.
Well, the reason everybody went to war with revolutionary France in sort of 1799 is the fact that the French had done something that no one had ever done before,
and that was scary.
Completely got rid of a monarchy, and I mean, we're not talking exiled them, we are talking very publicly cut their heads off. So
off with the head.
It's with Madame Guillotine.
That's scary. The Catholic Church is like, if other countries find out you can do that,
all of a sudden our grip is weakened.
They'll do that in every country. If they think, oh, we can survive without a monarchy, why have a monarchy? Why pay to have them around? Why give them?
Why have them swanning around in opulence when the rest of us are living in our own shit and starving to death?
Living on one potato a week.
A potato in some boiled water.
And then you live off the water for 2 days. the broth water. So it's a scary time. So the Catholic Church is like, we need to sort that out. We need to make sure no other country decides they're going to do that.
And I mean, of course, sort of Napoleon reluctantly brought the Catholic Church back into France because it was, like, as he said, opium for the masses. And because he declared himself emperor. Kind of gave him a little bit more legitimacy if the Pope was there to kind of bless him
That's badass, isn't it? I am the emperor.
Yeah. But at the same time, Napoleon made it very clear to the Pope that I don't work for you. In fact, you work for me.
That's cool.
Because I own most of northern Italy,
yeah.
and I've got lots of soldiers there, and I've got more guys than you. And let's say you do put up a fight, I'll come myself.
Yeah.
I am the greatest soldier at this point
yeah.
on the continent, and I'll smash your Popey.
Yeah. He's a bit of a baller, ain't he, to be fair?
He was a bit of a baller. He went from Napoleon went from an artillery lieutenant to Marshal of France, and at 15 years, maybe 20. No, it's not bad.
No, that's career progression right there.
That's some career progression.
He put in some time.
He was just certainly right place, right time.
Yeah, he definitely put in some hours on that.
So, let's say you go into Western governments.
Yeah.
Do start to sort of decentralise from so in Britain we were like, well, you know, this King George III, he is an absolute nightmare and such a bad king. Parliament's going to have more of a say now.
Yeah.
And it always has since the Magna Carta.
Yeah.
The king's powers were limited with the Magna Carta.
Yeah.
Parliament gained more powers, and then of course we had a civil war, so Parliament gained more power.
Yeah, they took some of the powers away from the monarchy.
Yeah. I can never remember this, George III or George IV. One of them was so appalling. That's why the Queen, they basically took more powers off him.
Yeah.
Because he was just like frittering money away.
Yeah, bankrupting them.
Yeah, he was like, you've gone through your allowance in 3 months, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I built a new palace. Wonderful.
Yeah, where are you finding this money from?
Oh, you.
Yeah. The people.
Yeah. So, you know, Western and the church, especially in England, was failing. We've never really taken religion that seriously in this country in the last couple of 100 years, certainly.
Yeah.
You'd argue it's one of them things that's been gradually whittled out by Henry VIII and the Church of England. We don't have all this elaborate ceremony. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, well, the religious ceremony, do you mean?
Yeah.
That's all Catholicism, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't do a great deal.
The Church of England's are Protestants. And they don't believe in any of the sort of ceremony.
No, but
Catholicism.
Still have a lot of gold though, don't they?
Yeah. No, Catholicism's the ones that likes the gold.
I'm pretty sure that the church where I used to go to as a kid.
You sure that wasn't a Catholic church?
No, it's Church of England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Had a few gold crucifixes knocking around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, then it burnt down.
Yeah. The idea behind
that's a joke, by the way. I didn't really burn it down.
Oh, okay. The idea behind the Catholic Church is that it's all shiny, so that all your poor people come in off their farms and stuff, and they're like, "Ooh, look how shiny this is!
Yeah.
It must be close to God because it's so shiny."
Yeah.
And that's why there was so many jewels, and it was so gold and
the fact
magnificent.
They were just giving them their money.
Yeah.
You know, it's a non-profit. It's a very profitable organisation, religion.
Yeah. Whereas with Protestantism, I guess it was more about the fact that Henry VIII, he pushed it, wasn't he? He was just wanted his divorces, so I guess it was like, well, give us all that gold.
He did, he took it all up.
Yeah, he's like, give me all that gold from all the churches. This new religion we're letting in, they don't care about the gold.
Melt the gold down, give it to me.
Well, that's what it was. He just wanted to gamble it away.
No, I've got to go. I want to go to war with France. Melt the gold down.
Blackjack and hookers again.
Blackjack and hookers. Let's face it. So we can argue that the New World Order,
they've been infiltrating for a long time in these places of power.
Yeah, it's the modern branch of the Illuminati, the all-seeing eye. Go to London, listener, or go to any major capital city or any major city, old city, and you will no doubt see the pyramid in the eye dotted around on buildings.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere, especially in London. There's so much Illuminati symbolism in London alone.
Yeah.
And that's just that I've seen in my own eyes, and you're like, wow, why is there a pyramid?
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything?
Why is there an Egyptian column sat on the embankment?
Yeah.
What's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, it doesn't.
You know? And of course the Illuminati triangle is like pop culture now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not only is it on the dollar bill.
People get tattoos of it.
People get tattoos of it.
Yeah.
You got rappers.
Why is it on the dollar bill? There's no explanation for that. They've never explained. They've never sat down and be like, yeah, we have that for a very specific reason, and we're going to tell you that reason now.
Probably Masonic, because Franklin designed the currencies.
Yeah.
So probably Masonic, and of course remember they had dollar coins at first. They wouldn't have dollar bills. So yeah, I'd imagine Franklin was most certainly a Mason.
Yeah.
Probably in the Illuminati too. So.
But you could argue what does because the pyramid is Egypt.
Yeah.
So what does that have to do with anything?
Who knows? Maybe it just goes all further back.
Yeah, maybe the Illuminati is just an off branch of a cult that goes back all the way to ancient Egypt.
Who knows? Could go back further than that. Could
Yeah.
go back all the way
Yeah.
to another civilization that existed before our own, that was wiped out by its own tremendous advances in science.
You've been playing too much Assassin's Creed.
Maybe.
That's the whole story for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, but people genuinely believe that.
Yeah.
And I think probably Assassin's Creed nicked it. Graham Hancock, I'm sure it's Graham Hancock, he's a guy that firmly believes that there were civilizations here before that wiped themselves out. Archaeology is wrong.
Yeah.
And, it's probably going to happen to us too.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
And there's always...
It might not have even been... Because, Assassin's Creed is like an alien civilization, isn't it?
Yeah, but it could have been like a half alien, half human civilization.
It could have just been a human civilization. The humans before we kind of nuked ourselves to the Stone Age, so to speak.
That's it. Because we'd always go back. We'd always come back.
Yeah.
As soon as everything started clearing up, as long as enough humans survived.
Yeah. So then I guess the conspiracy would be that maybe some ancient Egyptians found out that there was an ancient race before us, and they kept it hidden all this time under different names.
Probably reptilians.
Yeah, maybe they're still around today.
A lot of serpent worship in South America.
Yeah, in Egypt there was there was the crocodile, the one with the crocodile head.
Yeah, reptilian. Yeah.
I can't remember his name now.
No, I wouldn't even bother trying.
I can't remember his name.
Secateur.
No.
Shergar.
No.
I know there was Kalinsakotl or something like that in Aztec.
What?
Yeah, serpent god. That's the one. That's the dude that everyone was getting sacrificed to. The sun guy.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we've got to give the serpent god 400 hearts a day, otherwise the sun won't come back tomorrow.
Jeez, that's a lot of hearts.
It is. And they would remember they only had like bone and flint knives.
Yeah, it would have took a while. Could you imagine if they forgot on one of the days and the sun still turned up?
It was only 389.
They forgot one. They're like, oh shit, the sun's still out. Maybe we don't need to keep doing this.
The problem is, something really fucking dodgy always happens on an occasion like that.
Yeah.
So oh man, we've only got 389 people today.
And then there's an eclipse.
Shit, he's angry. You 11, you're all get out of here. Time to give your lies to the world.
I'm sure that happens in that Mel Gibson film. The one there's a Mel Gibson film that's based in Native. It's like Native American.
I know the one you're on about. Yeah,
like Apocalypto.
Apocalypto.
Yeah.
That's it. And never watched it actually.
Yeah, they go to stab him and he gets away and there's an eclipse.
No.
It's like, no, we didn't get enough hearts for today. Shit.
I think I need to start collecting hearts.
Just in case.
Just in case. This is the end times, man.
Oh no. So he sacrifices to the sun god. Yeah. At least you can prove the sun god.
Exactly, he's there. Look at him burning me as we speak.
You're looking at it it burns. My eyes.
Thank you, my lord. See, and of course the old triangle.
Yeah.
The old hand symbol. I'm sure you've seen it. Triangle.
A lot of celebrities do that.
Or Jay-Z, Beyonce.
You could argue they do it for fun, but just to make the sort of conspiracy theorists go, oh god, look what they did. But there's probably a little bit more to it, I'd imagine.
It's weird. I think it's actually become more of a pop culture thing.
It's starting.
Wayne Rooney's throwing it up, and Wayne Rooney is not going to make it into the Illuminati.
He might do.
Look, Wayne Rooney sings from a tyre like a chimp. Right? He is not one of the enlightened ones. He's rich.
If he turns up to our house looking for you now,
kick his fucking head in, this fucking Shrek-looking twat.
God, I hope he finds you.
Actually, I think he used to box,
he
so he probably would kick my
head. He did, I think.
It's alright, you're here.
I'd be like, hi Wayne, and just walk off.
You don't even know who he is. Why is Bellingham assaulted by a random man in a football kit?
I'd be like, can you sign this shirt? And he'd be like, that's Ben's ice hockey shirt, isn't it? I'm like, yeah, I don't have a football shirt, so this one I'll have to do.
I've got football shirts.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'll use one of them then. While he's beating you up, I'll just get his autograph.
Fuck you, Wayne. Should have turned up at a major tournament then, shouldn't you? I don't think that someone like Jay-Z or Beyonce, I suppose they're influential people. They have some very devoted fans.
That's the idea behind it. It's not about whether or not, at this point, it wouldn't be about whether or not you're intelligent, would it?
No, it's how much influence you have on the masses.
Obviously, having some scientists would be good to have. Having rich people, like really rich people, like you mentioned, the Rothschilds, they're still pretty rich now, aren't they? They're still worth a couple of billion.
Oh, so more than that, mate.
Having influential people like that, rich, famous, is important. But to control the masses now, it's all media, isn't it?
Yeah.
So music, basically, or TV.
Music, because they've infiltrated Hollywood, like to the paedophilia. Well, Bohemian Grove is weird, the Bohemian Club. I mean, they all go to this place upstate.
Yeah.
Oh, God, where is it? I think it's in California. In the woods. They go for 3 weekends, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they only men allowed.
Yeah.
They do this thing called the cremation of care ceremony, where they symbolically burn care.
Yeah.
So, like, while you're here, you haven't got to worry about anything.
Yeah.
Nothing leaves that place. You can't get in unless you're a member. No one talks about it.
Famous people.
Yeah.
Sounds very culty.
Yeah. They actually burn this alleged care in front of a giant stone owl on the lake, and then it's all very theatrical, very chanty. There's screams of someone being burned. Hopefully there is no one being burned, and they claim it's recorded, but is Alex Jones of all people got in and recorded it. It is weird. I advise you to watch it.
I think it's
on
weird.
YouTube.
It's weird that you mentioned about Hollywood and stuff. Isn't it weird that all of these elites basically in Hollywood were getting away with all this sort of sex scandals until the Me Too, and then when all of that came out and we found out it was a ton of people in Hollywood, rich, famous, influential people, at the exact same time all that stuff came out in the BBC, pretty much, about all the paedophiles.
Savile and
which was, I know there was like a year between it, but it was pretty much the same time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that went on for a while, and more of those people got caught. And then even like all that, I know Jeffrey Epstein stuff has been going on for a while, but it's still going on now.
Yeah.
And they're trying to. Yeah.
I mean, for God's sake, the judge in charge of Ghislaine Maxwell's trial and releasing this stuff, had her son and husband shot. I think the husband was killed.
Yeah.
On their doorstep.
No, I think it was the son, wasn't it? Wasn't the son died?
On their doorstep by a guy disguised as a FedEx driver who turned out to be an anti-feminist lawyer.
Yeah. Isn't it weird as well that the guy that was Jeffrey Epstein's friend recently jumped off a building and killed himself?
Yeah.
I remember that link I sent you the other day.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that he killed himself recently? It's like, if you're unhappy with your life or you feel guilty for being friends with Jeffrey Epstein, why are you doing it now after she's been caught and names might be coming out soon? It's a bit sketchy, isn't it?
He's either been pushed to act as a scapegoat, or he's done it himself out of fear of losing his reputation.
Either he's part of it, he's part of this organisation, which I would argue is some sort of bigger sort of organisation that might be worldwide, seeing as stuff has happened here and in America. Either he's part of it, or he was going to rat him out. He had information on him.
Yeah.
So they got rid of him.
Big case in Belgium in the early 2000s as well. There's a whole stuff about my main episode on its own.
Yeah.
Red shoes and hunting children through the woods. Apparently there's this group of paedophiles who were wearing red leather shoes made from the skins of dead children they'd hunted to the woods.
Wow, that's really dark.
It is. I'm trying not to go down a rabbit hole on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
But it's my Facebook feed from all my sort of research purposes, the conspiracy stuff I follow, and
you like a lot of conspiracy stuff.
I do, and I don't.
This was your pick, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't always go for all of it.
Yeah.
Apart from aliens, that's obviously true. But you know, it's just like I'm trying not to go down a rabbit hole because
it does seem all connected, though, doesn't it?
It does.
It's like when we're doing the Illuminati, and then that's connected to a bunch of other organisations. So you go back all the way to the stonemasons, which is really far back, and then there's the New World Order, which
the stonemasons probably would go back to like ancient Egypt.
Yeah, and you're like, well,
they're building the pyramids
with giant stones.
Yeah.
Coincidence? I think not.
Clues in the name.
Yeah, stonemasons. Wait a second, pyramids on the Illuminati, but pyramids are made of stone. It's all connected. We're just there with strings. It's like that meme.
Sunny in Philadelphia.
It's like it all connects.
Yeah, then you find out that Charlie just couldn't fucking read. And he was in the mail room.
That's us.
No, that's your average fucking conspiracy theories because they see something in everything.
Yeah, but it's weird though now how we're sat here and we're talking about it. And I know we've talked about this stuff before. That's why we decided this would be our next pick. But when we talk about how all this stuff's coming out in the news now about all of the sex scandals and all of the paedophile things, and it all seems to be at the same time. They all seem to know each other, or they're related to each other.
Or they go to the same islands together.
Isn't it weird that all of the royal family are related to like all of the presidents?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, they're all, even Obama.
Yeah.
He's related to the Queen somehow.
Trump is related to Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
They're related. I found that out the other day. And they were saying awful shit about each other, but they're like 13th cousins. They're all related.
Yeah. Because the Americans never really got rid of an aristocracy. They just replaced it with
renamed it.
And just renamed it and just had really powerful families with that title.
Yeah. It's like, we'll find a way to keep the family in. We'll just get someone else and make it look like it's a debate.
Yeah, and let's face it. Let's say, for example, some rich American merchant, businessman, capitalist.
Yeah.
And say that his daughter marries a minor English noble.
Yeah.
Now, within a couple of generations, that guy might actually be in some kind of line to get higher up into the organisation of the monarchy. Maybe not be king or queen, but certainly maybe sitting on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Or having a high position in the military or the government or the House of Lords in this country. So you never know. It's all links together.
This is the thing, though.
Fucking weird, is just what I want to say.
This is weird that, like, if you look at prime ministers, how many, like, lower class sort of people have grown to become prime ministers?
Not many.
How many working class prime ministers have there been?
I wouldn't, honestly.
They came from a working class background.
A couple of the Labour leaders, maybe, in the sort of 50s and 60s.
Yeah,
possibly.
Maybe.
I don't know a lot about British prime ministers from that period.
None come to name straight away, do they?
No.
But almost all of them come from old nobility, rich, or that, like I said, Boris is related. He's related to people like politicians in America.
Well, he's American himself. He was
he's
born
American.
there. He's also actually his grandfather or great grandfather was Turkish.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Turkish nobility going to America, marrying into American societal elite.
Yeah.
Coming back over here. Oh, what do you know? I'm now the fucking Viscount of whatever.
Yeah.
It's all
They're all connected. Yeah, it's crazy. It makes you question to the point where you go, maybe this shit is real.
That's the problem.
Maybe there is, and it might not be the Illuminati, but it is certainly some sort of order that goes worldwide.
Oh yeah.
Like the world order, it is definitely something where somebody's pulling, or a group of people are pulling the strings.
Well, that would be bankers and politicians, wouldn't it? And I suppose one of the major theories is that the UN will basically become the new world order. It's been infiltrated.
Yeah.
I mean, because remember, not everyone likes the UN.
Yeah.
Certainly, especially militia groups in America.
Yeah.
Who's kind of the unless they're usually the Christian right who have these militias. They love this shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they're going to take away Jesus, they're going to take away our guns.
You can't take away their guns, man.
Well, they want to take away Jesus too.
Yeah, but you definitely can't take away their guns.
Well, I think the only way to get rid of some of these militias would be to roll the army in.
Yeah.
Yeah, with tanks.
Yeah, because they would fight to keep their guns.
Then that, of course, then leads to like rogue, what do they call it? A terrorist attack that's like a rogue warrior kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, not a rogue one, fucking hell. Like white lone wolf. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, lone wolf terrorist like Jim McVeigh who did Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
He was obsessed with this and how the UN was going to take over America.
Yeah.
By stealth and take their guns off them and they turn it into a socialist communist paradise.
Yeah.
Instead of the good old fashioned capitalism that they all are getting screwed over by. You know, Jews are spreading communism across the world for some reason.
Yeah, that was one of the
because
claims.
they're the bankers.
Yeah.
And they're all in the Freemasons and the Illuminati. And that's the thing, the Masons are, even nowadays, are like business owners, politicians.
They're still around, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or their descendants are.
Yeah, so why on earth these people are in positions of power. Either in local government or at national government.
This is the crazy thing, though, when you were mentioning the UN, it's a strange one. Because if we got to the point where you had sort of an order that could control the world, it's a difficult one because it sounds like a good idea in theory. If you have some sort of organisation that, say, comes out of the shadows and is like, we're in control of the world now, no more war, all of the politicians, so like all the prime ministers and everyone who's in charge, dictators, everything, we're all going to sit down, we're all part of one united front, So there isn't like Russia, China, America, all those that keep threatening each other with World War III.
Yeah.
They're all like, yeah, we're all going to sit down. We're all part of this new world order, and it's the Earth now.
It's one world government.
It's one world, and if any threat comes in, we're united. So like, if aliens attack, like you said, we're united. We'd be a united front. We could fight back easily.
Yeah.
We can share resources. That means we won't be fighting for resources, and we can progress with science and essentially travel space sooner.
Yeah.
Because we can pull our resources together, can't we?
Yeah, I mean,
that sounds great.
Yeah, but obviously the theory is that it wouldn't be great. It'd be an authoritarian dictatorship.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But it sounds great because of
amazing,
all that.
Or is it a case of we're just going to enrich ourselves at the expense of everyone else and keep them all in kind of low-wage slavery?
Well, it would basically just become one like new sort of giant monarchy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All these guys that are now in power that were, back then they were getting rid of the kings and they were getting rid of the queens and were trying to get rid of religion for science and intelligence and philosophy. That was all great, but essentially they just wanted to replace what was there.
Yeah.
And that's what would happen now.
We seem to have doubled back a little bit.
Why?
Well, religion in government is making a comeback.
Yeah.
Not, it's a good thing, but Trump claims to be a Christian.
Yeah, but
Mike Pence is a fanatical Christian.
Yeah, but like you said, it's opium for the masses.
It is opium for the masses. It makes them feel better. It also means they don't have to justify how shitty a person they are.
A lot of Americans are still very into religion, so you pander to the masses until you get what you need politically.
Yeah.
But it does sound like a great idea if we could share our resources. Everyone would be treated equally, but it wouldn't, would it? It would basically
like kaiju.
Yeah. It would basically just be a way of controlling us all, wouldn't it?
Greater authority on humankind, and more ways to fuck the planet up while enriching themselves.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they'll have a space program and we'll be stuck down here
in
the radioactive wastes.
Yeah, so that would basically what it would be, wouldn't it? They'd colonise a new planet and the rich and powerful would go there and they keep an eye on us, and this would be a worker planet, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We would just mine this full of resources, and because we'd obviously have better renewable resources, so we'd be able to kind of like you said, radiation would be higher, so we could probably extract that for resources and send it to them.
I know we're going. No, well, exactly.
The science isn't there yet.
Isn't there, but yes.
Well, if they're sitting on a planet or a moon base, I'm sure at that point the science would be there. They'd probably terraform the moon at this point. They're just sat there laughing at us while we're toiling away.
There probably is a moon base already.
We're there with a comical looking machine sucking up radiation waves and then sending it up, beaming it up.
Without any protection on.
Yeah, and then we're just there. It looks like a vacuum, we're just sucking it up from the air.
Then you grow an extra head.
Yeah, and then we just beam it up to them.
Well,
we're like, let's send them the energy.
Twats. I hate them already. Yes. So so what are some of these links to obviously events in history? French Revolution, obviously.
Yeah.
Right? Black helicopters. Have you ever heard of black helicopters?
No.
They're these unmarked black helicopters, as the name suggests.
Yeah.
They don't prefer to be called BAME helicopters. They are just black.
Yeah.
Because they're painted that way.
Yeah.
That's an attempt at humour.
Oh. It was funny.
Thank you. They're flying around, and people are like, well, helicopters should have markings on.
Yeah.
And these haven't.
Yeah.
So it's obviously the UN scouting out America's vulnerabilities.
I see. Yeah.
So they can conquer America, and then we'll have the New World Order.
Well, if they were going to conquer it, they wouldn't conquer it through violence, would they?
No, they just pay Trump.
Yeah, well, they would just literally get people of power to infiltrate.
Yeah, it takes a while though, doesn't it?
Well, you just get someone into the country and you just get them to eventually become president, don't you?
Yeah, that's it, I suppose. Then JFK.
Yeah. The assassination.
Yeah, the obvious list of who killed JFK is longer than my arm.
Yeah.
If I was to get all the names of the people involved tattooed on my arm, I'd need another arm probably. Yeah. But it's plausible to think that certainly members of JFK's own government wanted him dead.
Yeah.
His vice president Lyndon Baines Johnson was probably going to go to prison.
Yeah.
Unless JFK was killed.
So
maybe, and he was a Mason, because they'd have all been Masons. I bet Kennedy was probably a bloody Mason.
But if he had information he felt like he should share with the public, and it was maybe information that these sort of organisations didn't want to share,
that's it.
It would be a definite way of getting rid of him. Or if he was planning on change, if he was like, right, now I'm a president, I can make positive change and maybe steer away from these guys because their intention doesn't sound so pure. It started off pure and I was down for it, but now it sounds like they just wanted to suppress the planet.
Yeah, suppress the planet and fuck kids.
Yeah, it's starting to seem that way.
Yeah, they've infiltrated Hollywood, so again, child sex rings, paedophilia. I mean, it's all of course
sex scandals.
Apparently rigged the Battle of Waterloo, which I suppose they would have financed partially anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rothschilds probably would have been loaning France and Britain and Prussia the money to keep those massive armies in the field.
Well, that would be the idea, wouldn't it? Is just keep getting countries to go to war with each other, keep getting to fight each other. It's profitable if you're a banker, so then you're putting money into the funds to make yourselves richer and also to make the organisation richer. Yeah. And then once they're all done, you go in, you're like, well, we can assist with the rebuilding now for further debt. So you make more money there from both sides, both countries, or multiple countries if it's a world war. Yeah. And then at the same time, then you can be like, oh, by the way, this is my nephew, or this is my cousin, or this is my friend's son. How about we make him work for you? And then he's a soldier in high sort of regard, or he's like a politician, and you've infiltrated.
Marries into the aristocracy.
And then before you know it, each country's infiltrated by dozens of people that work for that organisation, and then they have children, and then you've got a lot more, hundreds possibly, within it.
Spreading like a disease.
Yeah. Well, that's probably where he went wrong with the organisation initially, is he just recruited rich and successful people. But people talk. Yeah. It's hard to keep a secret.
Yeah. What are you doing tonight?
I tell you what.
What are you doing tonight?
Yeah.
No, all right.
But I tell you a good way to keep a secret, make it a family secret.
Yeah.
You don't spread shit about your family, do you?
No.
So if you're all related or married in, you don't talk about it, do you?
No, and if you're all fucking kids as well, that tends to keep everyone in line because you just expose that.
Yeah. How much you want to bet that your Weinsteins and your Epsteins and everyone else that's part of like all of these scandals, even the ones in England, how much you want to bet they're all distantly related?
Wouldn't surprise me.
How much you want to bet that they are distantly related somehow?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Fascists obviously use this really as a tool to stir up hatred of the Jews, though.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Jews were controlling everything through their financial systems.
Oh, okay.
Don't go for that myself.
So is this another theory of another organisation?
No, I mean it goes back to the Christian right basically being afraid of Jewish communism.
Oh, okay.
And Jewish the religion as well, I suppose, because Christians don't like Jews very much, do they?
Oh, okay.
Well, right-wing ones wouldn't.
Yeah.
And Nazis certainly don't.
Yeah, I heard something about this when I was doing the research, but I can't remember it now, and I don't want to say the wrong things, but it was something along the lines of Jewish people were allowed to do loans, and at the time Christian people weren't.
That's right, yeah.
So
they became bankers.
They became bankers, and that's why they were able to accumulate so much more wealth than the Christians. So I think
that leads to jealousy.
Yeah, so I think this is where this comes from, is the Christians then obviously went, they're trying to take over the world, and it was simply for the fact that they were able to do something the Christians weren't, so they made profit from it.
Well, not every Christian, maybe it's the sort of the more right wing and evangelical, certainly.
Yeah.
And Denver Airport's quite linked to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
How so?
Lots of Illuminati symbology in Denver Airport.
Weird that it's worldwide, isn't it? There's a lot of symbols and...
Yeah. In fact, Denver Airport has a keystone, a little plaque, saying that it was financed by the New World Order Airport Commission.
Yeah. So it was like they just put it out there.
There's a picture of a Nazi stormtrooper on the goddamn wall.
Yeah.
A weird mural where he's slicing a dove in half with a saber.
That is strange.
Right? Look at it. We did an episode on it in Cutting to the Bull.
Yeah.
Go and check that out. That will give you the background.
Yeah, man. Got to plug that podcast.
Yep. So Denver Airport, I'm not going to go too much into, but there's a lot of symbology there.
Yeah.
Lots of it. Weird murals.
Yeah. If you go into like any country, you can find that symbol. Somewhere you'll find it.
Yeah, you will. Of course, Alex Jones is a big fan of this. The globalists are taking over.
Yeah.
The globalists. Ah!
Yeah.
Alex Jones is probably part of the New World Order.
Probably.
Fight me, Alex.
You just want to fight everyone today. Like, I challenge anyone.
I've been challenging Alex Jones to a fight for ages.
Yeah.
He hasn't accepted me yet. He hasn't even replied. Presumably because he's never heard of me.
Yeah, he probably doesn't know who you are.
But he will.
I don't know who he is, to be fair.
You don't know who Alex Jones is?
No.
Wow.
Who is he?
He's a lunatic.
Okay.
He's an American, started off on the radio. He does his own, or he did have his own sort of InfoWars, it was called, a website where he would basically broadcast live and basically spoke conspiracy theories.
So why don't you like him then? Because you like conspiracy theories.
I do, but he's proclaiming to be like, I'm one of the good guys, I'm a patriot, and I'm against globalization and the New World Order. He's nothing more than one of them. Because then once he's done telling you all that, he'll say, but in the event of apocalypse, you can buy my body armor. Here's some vitamins. I tell you what, these vitamins. Oh, I don't need them, but they give me a pep. They give me a pep. And he's like basically selling shit to people who believe his rants.
That's my plan. That's my plan.
Yeah. Well, no, but so he's just as bad as anybody else out there. He's a snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
He's telling you what you want to hear so he can flog you his shitty products that probably don't do anything.
Shall I send all my shitty products back then?
Depends what you bought.
Fight milk.
Well,
500 gallons of fight milk.
Oh my god, we'll be kings in the apocalypse. We'll be fighting like crows.
Anyone that hasn't seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia has no idea of that reference, do they?
Of course, the New World Order will do this. I saved this for the end because the last bit is the end times.
The end times.
The unholy trinity of Satan, the Antichrist, and the false prophet.
Wow, that's very biblical.
Yeah, well, like I say, this is the NWO thing is massive amongst the right-wing Christians.
Okay.
Because they tend to be the more gullible.
Gullible.
Gullible or excitable. Stupid. Anyone who believes a 2,000-year-old book literally needs a fucking head looking at. All right, that's my thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some very interesting 2,000-year-old books out there.
Yeah, but I don't believe in 2,000 years' time, no one's going to pick up a Spider-Man. Okay. So that's all I've got.
Yeah. I don't agree with your theory, especially because you're non-religious, so it doesn't make sense.
I'm just using their own ideas, their own perverse ideas against.
So Donald Trump is the son of the devil. You don't believe in the devil.
No, he's the false prophet.
He's a false prophet.
He's the false prophet.
How can that be true? If there's no religion.
Because if in your eyes, if there's no God and there's no devil, how can there be an antichrist? Well,
it makes no sense.
No, but what you could have, and probably what religion does create, is tulpas. If enough people believe in an idea, that idea can become true.
Yeah, I like that idea. Right? I've heard that before.
Best example I can give you is, while the thing didn't become true, it certainly became true for some people. Slender Man, Slendy.
Yeah.
A lot of people, oh my god, this is amazing. They started writing fan fiction. It started to grow. The fandom grew.
Yeah.
Before you know it, people are stabbing each other for Slender Man.
Yeah.
In their minds, and there is of course the thing that if you think enough people think that something is real, then it will become real.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you'd be talking a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
why do you think he's an antichrist though? Because he's all pro God and Jesus.
I don't agree. No, because the Antichrist will come dressed up as say all smiles and saying I'm a godly man.
Yeah.
That's how he seduces his followers.
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely his true message is revealed.
Yeah. I think he's a bit of a buffoon, but I don't think he's evil.
He held the Bible upside down, Sean, when he was outside that church as they tear gassed all those peaceful protesters.
I don't think he's very clever, and I would argue he's probably not going to be known as the greatest president of all time, but I wouldn't say he's evil, to be fair.
Well, you won't be saying that when the lake of fire opens
up.
The
lake of fire.
The 4 horsemen ride through the sky, and demons start devouring children's eyes.
Oh dear.
You won't be saying that in 7 years' time when we're fighting demons.
You will have gotten eaten by demons long before that.
I'm having my fucking... If I lose a hand, I'm having a shotgun attachment.
If demons rock up right now, you are not in the shape to be fighting demons.
You'd be surprised.
You should have been preparing for that for the past couple of years.
You'd be surprised what the human body can do when under attack.
He's been, what, president for 4 years nearly? Yeah. You had 4 years to prepare.
I only started thinking about this 6 months ago.
If they rock up now, you're fucked.
Probably.
They're going to eat you for dinner. I'm going to run because I've only got to outrun you.
No, there's fatter people live on this road.
Yeah, but if they come busting through the door, I'm tripping you up and I'm going over the fence. They're eating you first.
I'll fight them off with this wooden bowl on the windowsill. I will insert that you'll hear as I ram the microphone up one's arse.
They'll be using like flaming swords and you'll be using a microphone.
Yep, and then I get a flaming sword.
Yeah. I don't think this is going to go well for you.
It will.
No, I honestly, if there's a world order or organisation, I can't imagine Donald Trump being a part of it.
I don't think they'd let him in.
No.
But then again, maybe he's just playing dumb.
He's either playing dumb or he's not in it because he's too much of a wild card. You can't control a man like that. Or at the very least, he gives off the illusion of being if he's not a wild card. So I don't think he's part of an organisation. I certainly don't think he's an antichrist. I think he's just a bit of an idiot that says the right things to the right people.
Like Boris then, really.
Yeah, so he panders to the masses. The masses want a certain thing, so he screams it as loud as he can until they're like, yes, let's vote for him. He's given us what... He's like, I will boost the economy. They're like, yay, let's have the economy boosted.
So are we not in the end times then?
No. Well, we might be, because there's a lot of shit going on in 2020.
It's true.
But I don't think he's the cause at all.
Oh, right. Have we got anything else?
I don't know, did we cover everything?
I think so. I've covered everything in my notes.
I guess just our thoughts, really.
Yeah.
Do you believe in an Illuminati? Or at the very least, do you believe in some sort of world order? Is this the perfect time for you to bring up lizard men?
Well, lizard men obviously, and aliens are probably controlling the world government, so they could class as a new world order.
Yeah, do you think that lizard men have infiltrated the world then?
Well, isn't the royal family made up of lizards?
Well, you've brought up the lizard men a few times, so I did some research, and apparently they drink the blood of humans so that they can take on the appearance of humans.
Yeah, probably. They are carnivorous. They do enjoy eating us. Most of them will either be hybrid enough to get by.
Yeah, like a half human, half lizard person.
Or potentially have some kind of hologram projector.
Yeah,
that portrays a human form over their real form. Because remember, they are thousands of years ahead of us. They consider themselves to be the terrestrial ones consider themselves to be the first inhabitants of Earth.
Ah, okay. I read somewhere that they, because their skin changes like
chameleons.
Chameleons, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because they can do that, they just drink the blood of humans and it just changes their skin into human skin, so they look like humans. That's why they say, some of these politicians and some of these rich people look really weird. Like, say, for example, Boris Trump looks really fucking weird.
Boris Trump, eh?
Boris Trump.
Boris Trump isn't real. Boris Trump can't hurt you.
Donald Trump. I have seen a meme where they merge the two together. Donald Trump, even. And Boris, to be fair.
Yeah, well, he's probably in it.
Yeah.
It's old money, isn't it? It's money.
Yeah.
If you're in the 1%,
yeah,
they're
all lizard people.
Yeah, they're all lizard people or enslaved to them.
Yeah.
All the heads of state, obviously. The Queen. They're all related, aren't they?
So you think that there is definitely a world organisation and possibly it's alien interference as well?
Possibly alien interference, but
sort
I do go for
underhanded invasion.
Yeah.
So like secret invasion.
Yeah, well, the best sort of secret invasion.
That's very Marvel, isn't it? Secret invasion.
I don't know. It sounds like a sex tape.
There's a Marvel arc with the secret invasion. That's why I said it. Always goes back to porn with you.
It's been a long lockdown. I do. Whether or not there's aliens is open to debate. Whether reptilians, possibly. I'm open to that.
Yeah.
Because
you'd love that. Well, you wouldn't.
Well, I
wouldn't.
We're
being enslaved.
Yeah. We're being enslaved without knowing it.
With our mobile phones.
Yeah. Do I think there's a government above a government? Yeah, I do actually. I think. I think that the people we vote for are basically puppets.
Figureheads. I think that as well.
They just rotated through. So we've had 10 years of the Tories. We're going to have 15 years of the Tories.
Yeah.
In a few years, next election it'll be Labour, and we'll have 8 or 10 years of them.
Yeah.
And then they'll fuck it up again, so the Tories will come back and they'll fuck up a bit more. And all the time every time there's an election, we lose just a little bit of our freedom or our benefits as being in the NHS welfare state. Anything that can benefit the common person is just slowly taken away
Yeah.
and put into the pockets of the people really running the show,
Well, it seems-
which are probably the
yeah.
bankers who we don't even know who they are.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem to matter who gets in. Like if you do American politics or English politics, it doesn't matter. Like if a conservative goes in or a non-conservative, it still seems life still seems to get shitter regardless.
It's
it doesn't
always
really matter.
just constantly a little bit worse.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter who gets in. It's always a little bit worse. It's almost like when Obama got in, everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great in America." It wasn't that much greater.
No, nothing really changed
And-
apart from they started killing more people with drone strikes.
Yeah. Like he put in the healthcare,
But couldn't get it all the way
but
through.
couldn't get it all the way through. But a lot of other things slipped through the cracks because he focused so much on that.
Mm.
And it's like he was like, "Oh, there's a lot of red tape." And it's like, you're the president. There should be no red tape. You should just be able to say, "This is what's going to happen. We're going to make it happen."
No, because that's a dictatorship then.
Yeah, but
It's an elected dictator.
no, but he has.
Which I think what Trump thought he was going to be.
Yeah, but Trump has made more changes than he has. Whether or not they've been positives or negatives doesn't matter. He's made more changes than Obama has to the country.
Yeah, but you'd argue there've been changes that have set them back 30 years
Yeah,
in some cases.
Yeah, I'm not there to debate the politics of like right and left wing and all that crap right now. But my point is Obama didn't really do much.
No, and that's what Biden's running on. Like, hey, remember when Obama was in and how good it seemed?
Yeah.
I used to be part of that. Vote
Yeah.
for me, basically.
And if Biden gets in, the same thing will happen again. Not a lot will really happen.
No. They'll
Yeah.
make a few changes here and there,
Yeah,
just
a
to
few-
pacify the core voters.
A few things good will happen, and then while a few things that's good's happening, it's focused on in the media. A ton of bad shit will happen.
Oh yeah.
It's like Trump. He was like, "I'll fix the economy. I'll fix the economy," and the economy went up. But what else went down in the meantime? Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone knows the economy went up because that's all they pushed for.
Yeah.
They're like, "Look, I did what I said I'd do."
Then the death toll started going up.
Yeah, then COVID happened, and he really fucked up and dropped the ball there.
Yeah.
So it's like, but he was like, "Oh yeah, but the economy, we were the greatest economy in the world." It's like, yeah, but what about all the people that died?
Not right now, you're not.
Yeah, and this is the thing is it doesn't matter who's in charge. It's just gradually getting shitter for all of us.
Yeah.
And you'd argue maybe that's because of the suppression,
I'd argue that's
total world domination.
certainly Reaganomics in the 80s, the trickle-down capitalism.
Yeah,
So it's like, we're making a load of money at the top, and because we're making so much money, some of that will trickle down to you,
Yeah.
and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
That didn't help.
it's starting not to trickle.
It started not to trickle.
Or it's trickling less.
It's trickling less, and that's the point.
Or you have to work a lot harder to get that chunk of money.
That's it. Yeah.
We were having this conversation the other week actually, is like your parents' sort of generation, they got houses really easily.
Yeah.
And sort of
I think my parents bought their first house for like $5,000. All right,
yeah.
yes, they probably
even my mum,
they probably had a 15% interest rate
Yeah.
on that, but it's still a $5,000 fucking house.
yeah, even my mum, I mean, she's younger than your parents obviously, but she got her first house when she was like early 20s.
Yeah.
That's like, for my generation, incredibly difficult to do.
Oh, yeah.
Early 20s, you got to be making a lot of money.
I know people my age who still rent,
Yeah.
who've got families,
Yeah.
and they rent a house because you can argue that renting is pissing money up the wall,
Yeah.
or you can say, well, you know what, I can't get a mortgage on my wage
But-
because my wage hasn't gone up for the last 20
Yeah,
years.
but the argument is though with the whole renting thing is like you end up spending your entire life paying it off, so you're just renting it from the government or you're renting it from the people that built the house,
Yeah.
because most mortgages now are like 35 years.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being like 25, 30 and you get your first house and you have 35 years to pay it off?
That's it.
Like my parents' sort of generation, your parents' sort of generation, their mortgage was like $5,000, and you're like, well, how much did you get paid a year? They got paid like maybe $2,000, maybe $3,000 a year, maybe more. It's like, well, you can pay your mortgage off after all your bills. You could pay your mortgage off if you wanted to in like 5 years easily. And it's like now people are on, like, in my generation, anywhere between 20 and 30k. Some people more if they've done better, but they're
They've
literally
kissed capitalist arse.
yeah, basically. But if they're doing that, but then their house is like 200 grand.
Yeah.
They're anywhere between like 100 and 200 grand
And where
for a
you-
starting home.
Yeah. And how are you going to pay that off?
Exactly.
Anytime soon.
Over two people, because you can it's almost impossible to do it on your own now.
You can't,
So
yeah.
a couple, in their 20s, mid-20s, do that, and they have a 35-year mortgage.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, when they start having a family, that £130,000 house isn't big enough, so they have to take a bigger mortgage out for £250,000 house. Another 30 years on the mortgage.
That's it.
They never pay it off. They never own the homes anymore.
How do we get onto this?
The ways that the world
is,
the ways the world is trying to make life more difficult for the common man.
Yes. But yeah, what do you think about the being a government above a government?
I definitely think there is. I think it's not. I don't think it goes by the Illuminati anymore. I personally think that there's some sort of organisation, cult that's been around for a long, long time. The fact that the Egyptian symbols, like the eye, what's the eye called?
The Eye of Providence.
Yeah, and the pyramid, all that is in it, and the Egyptian culture is and sort of history is one of the sort of longest and richest we have.
Yeah.
I would like to think, well, I wouldn't like to think, I suspect that there's some sort of organisation that's been going on for a long, long time. They just keep changing their name.
Rebranding.
Yeah. And whenever they get caught, they just have a scapegoat. And the guy that created the Illuminati was just that scapegoat at the time.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
And they just keep moving from country to country, infiltrating them. And now they have become worldwide. Now they control the entire country. They control the presidents. They control the politicians, the prime ministers,
businessmen.
And literally, if you're a king, a queen, a politician, anything, a dictator, you have to go to them and ask for permission before you actually make any of the choices. Oh, I want to go to war with this country. Oh, you've got to go ask them, and you have to go there. And they are all related.
Yeah.
They are.
Well, what would be good for us right now? Well, let's stoke up some tension between the US and China.
Yeah.
That'll give our weapons manufacturing friends a better boost in their profits this year.
Every single time something bad happens and people like in America start rioting, or here we start rioting, or we start asking questions, oh, there's World War III. World War III is going to happen. Yeah. Everyone starts panicking. It's just to take it away. Oh, Russia and America are arguing. Oh, China and America are arguing. And then it disappears 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Nobody hears anything again for 2 months. It's like, oh, World War III is about to happen. It's like, no, it's not. It's just they're trying to distract you. So they put it on the news. They put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
It is just all to distract us from the fact that they're losing control a little bit. And like, we need to regain control right now.
Yeah, we need to get everyone back under the thumb, nice and quick.
Yeah, let's do something. And fear is a great motivator. It's a great motivator. So they're just like, oh no, this is happening. It's awful. Let's focus on that instead.
Oh, look at Britain this last couple of weeks. We've got the highest COVID death rate in Europe.
Yeah.
We've got nothing.
Very few people know that though.
Yeah.
It's not on. You have to search for it. It's rarely on the news.
Well, they've stopped updating now, haven't they? That's why.
Yeah.
They've what was it? But no, it's they've got this. We haven't got any track and trace, barely.
Yeah.
It's all been a shambles.
Yeah.
Lots of people are dead. But there's brown people coming over the channel in boats.
Yeah. Why is that?
Hate them.
Why is that making the news?
Yeah.
Why is that important?
Why is 300 people rocking up in the space of a couple of weeks?
Yeah. Why is that important right now?
All of a sudden the news.
Yeah. It's not important.
No, it's not at all.
And why can't we let them in?
Yeah.
Right now.
But no, it's just whip up a bit of hate.
As awful as it sounds, this pandemic has hit us hard, and we've lost a lot of people, and some of them would have been working class people.
Of course, most of them probably.
We're going to need to rebuild the economy. Having Brexit right now has come at the worst possible time.
Yeah.
Because our economy is going to be in the shitter.
We're in a recession now.
Yeah,
so.
It's going to be in the shitter. Eventually, I mean, there's going to be a massive job loss, but eventually we're going to need to rebuild, and we're not going to have immigration to fill in the jobs that we don't want to do. A lot of British people are too lazy or don't think that they're getting paid enough to do the difficult jobs.
That's it. Or cleaning toilets.
Yeah.
Or doing anything, really. Doing anything menial.
Yeah, they won't want to do it. They'll be like, oh, I want to be paid like £15 an hour if I'm going to have to do such a shit job like that. That was a cheesy joke.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just all the distraction, isn't it? Keep us dumb, keep us angry, keep us following the rule, so that we'll do as we're told.
By the overlords who can then profit on us.
Give us great
feast on our children.
Give us great TV shows that we can sit and watch all day. Give us phones and games, mobile games. You're hooked on a mobile game at the moment, aren't you?
I am.
Keep us hooked on these games on our phones or on social media on our phones, Instagram. Amount of women that are addicted to Instagram. Literally, and it makes them so insecure because of all these Instagram models. But they're hooked on it. They go on it 2-3 hours a day.
Wow.
Check your phone every 12 minutes apparently. Every 12 minutes you check your phone. That's an insane amount of time.
Yeah.
It is. And it's to keep us dumb.
Keep us, yeah.
For you're down looking at your device. You're not looking up at the world.
Very true.
Yeah.
It's a good place to end.
That is a good place. Yeah. That was philosophical.
Oh, philosophical, eh?
Yeah.
I've been Ben. Thanks for listening. Check out Cutting to the Ball in the Post-Truth Apocalypse, please. And the Apocalypse Network will be growing, hopefully. Don't drink the Flavour Aid. Don't join a cult.
And I've been Sean. Thanks for listening. That's it.